Hey warriors, stop everything for a second, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change your life. Right now, you're struggling. You know you should be disciplined, but somehow, every day slips through your fingers. You hit snooze, scroll endlessly, procrastinate, and then wonder why your goals feel impossible. Sound familiar? Here's the truth most people never tell you. Motivation is a lie. It comes and goes, and when it's gone, so does your progress. The real power, discipline, the skill of forcing yourself to do what matters, even when you don't feel like it. Don't just take my word for it. In 1972, Stanford psychologist Walter Mischel ran the marshmallow experiment. Kids who resisted one marshmallow to get two later. They grew up happier, healthier, and more successful. Discipline literally predicts your future. Imagine what your life could look like if you mastered this skill. The version of yourself who never hits snooze, who finishes projects on time, who actually follows through on promises, that person exists, waiting for you to show up. And here's the kicker. Most people will never become that person because they wait for motivation to arrive. Let me tell you a story. I had a friend who struggled to wake up early for years. Every morning was a battle, until he decided to implement a simple, forced discipline strategy. Within a month, he was not only waking up on time, but crushing goals he'd been avoiding for years. That's the power of forcing yourself to be disciplined. Here's the contrast. Most people wait for motivation. They let their feelings dictate action. You're about to take control, whether you feel like it or not. So, here's my challenge. Comment below, I choose discipline over comfort. Not for me, but for yourself. Hit that like button if you're ready to take your life seriously. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the strategies that can transform your life. Stick around, because in this video, I'm breaking down 8 practical strategies that will let you force yourself to be disciplined starting today. Miss one, and you'll struggle. Follow all, and you'll become unstoppable. Time to stop waiting and start building the person you were always meant to be. Number 1, stop waiting, start now. Friends, imagine your alarm rings, sunlight floods your room, yet you hit snooze. 5 more minutes, you think. Those 5 minutes aren't harmless. They quietly erode the practice of discipline, one choice at a time. We've all experienced this. You dream of change, of progress, yet you scroll endlessly, procrastinate, and wonder why nothing moves. Days pass. Goals feel distant. Frustrating, isn't it? Here's the truth the Stoics understood thousands of years ago. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. If you wait for it, your goals will wait forever. The real power lies in discipline, acting according to principle, even when desire and comfort resist. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. He wasn't talking about waiting for inspiration. He meant action. Right now. Despite discomfort, despite hesitation. Consider this. A friend of mine struggled to wake up early for years. Every morning, a battle between inertia and intention. Then he applied one Stoic principle. Forced discipline. No excuses, no negotiation. Within a month, he rose early, completed his tasks, and moved steadily toward his goals. Contrast this with those who wait. Waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment. The difference? Action guided by principle, not impulse. Here's how you can practice it yourself. Pick one habit. Start small. 10 push-ups, 10 pages of reading, 200 words of writing. Make it non-negotiable. Decide. Commit. Your will is the only authority. Immediate action. Count down 3, 2, 1, and begin. Delay creates doubt. Action creates clarity. Track your wins. Each step reinforces self-trust, the foundation of freedom. Share accountability. Speak it aloud, write it down, or share with someone you respect. Clarity and commitment strengthens resolve. Discipline beats fleeting motivation. Discipline shapes character. Each act of consistent action builds your inner citadel, a mind unshaken by external circumstances. If you are ready to reclaim control over your mind, write below, "I choose discipline over impulses." This is not just a comment, it is your first declaration of inner freedom. Follow this path, and in 30 days, the person who acts before comfort, who responds to life with courage rather than hesitation, will emerge. That is the power of Stoic discipline. Number 2, face your daily struggles. Life is rarely easy. Every day presents a series of small battles, a harsh word from a colleague, a delayed project, an unexpected obstacle. We often wish these struggles would vanish, yet the Stoics teach us something different. Struggle is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic minds, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, every difficulty you face is not a blockade, but a path forward. The friction you experience today is the material from which strength, resilience, and character are forged. Imagine this. You wake up to a day already crowded with obligations. You feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated. Your mind whispers, "Skip it today. Rest. Tomorrow will be easier, but tomorrow is uncertain. Today is certain." Action in the face of struggle is what separates those who merely wish for progress from those who achieve it. Here's the reality. Life will never be free of discomfort. Waiting for ease, perfect conditions, or effortless circumstances is a trap. The Stoics called this living according to nature, recognizing the world as it is and responding with virtue, not complaint. Struggle is natural. Resistance is normal. Your choice is how you engage. Step 1. Observe without resistance. Begin by noticing the struggle. Don't fight it internally. Don't wish it away. Label it clearly. This is frustration. This is delay. This is discomfort. Awareness itself diminishes the chaos. Your mind stops scattering energy on denial and begins channeling it toward action. Step 2. Accept responsibility. Your reaction to the struggle is yours alone. External events are beyond your control, your mind, your choice, your response. This is under your dominion. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When you accept responsibility for your reactions, the struggle transforms from an obstacle into a lesson, an opportunity to exercise patience, courage, and discipline. Step 3. Break it into actionable steps. A huge challenge feels paralyzing. Stoics didn't wait for motivation. They broke problems into the smallest possible steps. Facing a difficult task? Ask, what is the very next action I can take? 10 minutes of focused effort, one call, one paragraph, one page. Action compounds. Step 4. Reframe struggle as growth. Every annoyance, every setback, every fatigue is a teacher. A rude comment, practice patience. A delay in work, practice calm persistence. A failed attempt, practice reflection and improvement. When you reframe struggle as a training ground for virtue, you stop resisting reality and start using it to strengthen your character. Step 5. Reflect and reinforce. At the end of the day, pause. Review your struggles and your responses. Celebrate every moment you acted with purpose despite discomfort. This reflection builds self-trust. You realize, even in difficulty, I am capable. Even in discomfort, I am resilient. Each reflection reinforces your inner citadel, a mind unshaken by external events. Here's the paradox. The more you face daily struggles with awareness, responsibility, and action, the less they control you. Life remains unpredictable, but your mind becomes unshakable. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are a master of your responses. Start small. Choose one daily struggle and approach it with a Stoic mindset. Consciously notice, accept responsibility, act deliberately, and reflect. Over time, even the smallest challenges will cultivate a resilient, disciplined, and centered mind. Comment below. I face my struggles with strength and clarity. This is not just a statement. It's a commitment to meet life on its terms, using each obstacle as a stepping stone toward freedom, wisdom, and inner peace. The Stoic way teaches us, the struggles we fear are the very tools we need to become strong. Face them daily, transform them, rise. Number 3, understand the power of discipline. Discipline is not just a habit. It is the foundation upon which freedom, success, and inner peace are built. Without discipline, talent, opportunity, and motivation are wasted. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. True power is not in external circumstances, but in mastery over oneself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength comes from discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. It is the quiet force that allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. Consider this. You may feel motivated one day and the next not at all. Motivation is unreliable. It is fleeting, like the wind, but discipline is steady. It persists regardless of feelings, distractions, or discomfort. Discipline allows you to act even when your emotions resist, even when life throws obstacles in your path. Imagine a student trying to write a book. On inspired days, words flow effortlessly. But what about the days when the mind is tired, discouraged, or distracted? Discipline is what keeps the pen moving, the fingers typing, and progress happening. Motivation alone would leave the book unfinished. Discipline transforms effort into achievement. Step 1. Start small and commit. Discipline does not require grand gestures. Begin with one small action every day. 10 push-ups, writing 200 words, or reading one chapter. The key is consistency. The Stoics called this progress through small daily acts of virtue. Each act, though small, reinforces your ability to control yourself and build momentum. Step 2. Remove choice. Discipline is strengthened when you eliminate negotiation. Decide, commit, and act without debating with yourself. When your alarm rings, get up. When a task is due, start. Each time you act without hesitation, you train your mind to obey your principles, not your impulses. Step 3. Embrace discomfort. Discipline often requires facing discomfort. Early mornings, repetitive practice, delayed gratification. These are the arenas where character is forged. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery of oneself comes through disciplined action, especially when it is difficult. Avoiding discomfort strengthens neither will nor resilience. Embracing it, small, deliberate steps every day, is the true path to freedom. Step 4. Track and reflect. Consistency builds self-trust. Track your progress, reflect on your victories, and acknowledge the moments when you acted despite resistance. Each reflection reinforces your identity. You are someone who follows through, someone who does not wait for external prompts or fleeting feelings. Step 5. Discipline as freedom. Paradoxically, discipline brings freedom. The more control you exercise over your actions, the less your life is dictated by whims, distractions, or excuses. The disciplined mind is unshaken by chaos, resilient in adversity, and capable of achieving goals that others abandon. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is being able to act rightly, consistently, and purposefully, regardless of circumstances. The power of discipline lies not just in external success, but in internal mastery. Each time you act despite resistance, you strengthen your will, sharpen your focus, and cultivate resilience. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes second nature. You are no longer ruled by fleeting feelings, but guided by principles. Start today. Pick one area of your life and commit to disciplined action. Wake up at the same time, complete a task daily, or practice a skill relentlessly. The results will compound, building not just achievements, but the inner fortress of a disciplined Stoic mind. Comment below. I choose discipline over comfort. This is more than words. It is a commitment to live deliberately, act with purpose, and harness the power of discipline to shape your life. Motivation may come and go, but discipline endures. It is the quiet, unstoppable force that turns intention into reality, struggle into growth, and action into freedom. Number 4. Use scientific proof. We often wait for motivation. We tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll begin when I feel inspired. But what if science tells us this approach is flawed? What if motivation isn't the key to success, but discipline is? Decades of research in psychology and neuroscience support what the Stoics have taught for centuries. Action, not feeling, drives progress. Motivation is a chemical reaction in your brain, influenced by dopamine and fleeting emotions. It is unpredictable, temporary, and unreliable. Relying on it is like waiting for the wind to sail your ship. Sometimes it blows, often it does not. One powerful concept from behavioral science is the action momentum loop. Studies show that starting a task, even without wanting to, triggers dopamine release, which creates a sense of reward and fuels further action. In other words, action generates motivation, not the other way around. When you take the first step, your brain rewards you for it, making the next step easier. This aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy. Act first, feelings follow. Another key principle comes from research on habit formation. Psychologists like B.K. Fogg and James Clear demonstrate that small, consistent actions over time create automatic behaviors. This is the scientific underpinning of the Stoic idea that virtue is built through repeated practice. Every time you push yourself to act despite resistance, you reinforce neural pathways that make disciplined behavior easier in the future. In short, your brain rewires itself to obey your actions, not your impulses. Consider the famous study on willpower by Roy Barrister. Participants who practiced self-control in small daily tasks, like maintaining posture or avoiding sweets, showed measurable improvements in self-discipline across other areas of life. The science is clear. Discipline strengthens your brain, just like exercise strengthens your muscles. Waiting for motivation, by contrast, leaves you vulnerable to inertia, procrastination, and excuses. Even sleep research supports this. Studies reveal that people who follow consistent routines, waking up at the same time, exercising, or journalism, experience higher energy, improved focus, and better decision-making. Discipline structures your life in a way that supports performance, while waiting for motivation leaves you reactive, exhausted, and inconsistent. The Stoics understood this intuitively. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Science validates this today. Your reaction, your action, shapes your brain, your habits, and your life. Every time you act deliberately, you strengthen your mental circuits for focus, self-control, and resilience. This is neuropathically in action, the brain's ability to adapt based on repeated behaviors. So how do you apply this? Start small. Pick one task and commit to doing it at the same time every day. It could be writing 200 words, walking for 15 minutes, or completing a small work task before checking your phone. Don't wait to feel inspired. Count down 3, 2, 1, and act. Each action is backed by your brain's reward system, reinforcing the habit and proving scientifically that action precedes motivation. Over time, your discipline compounds. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. Motivation eventually arrives. Yes, but it follows action, not the other way around. Your brain rewards you for acting first, reinforcing the Stoic principle. Control your mind. Control your life. Science proves what the Stoics practiced for centuries. Waiting for feelings is a trap. Action is the lever. Discipline is the engine. Every deliberate step you take rewires your brain, strengthens your will, and moves you closer to your goals. Comment below. I act first, feelings follow. This is more than inspiration. It is evidence-based action. Use science to guide your habits. Use action to create momentum. Use discipline to turn intention into reality. Motivation will follow, but your progress starts today, not tomorrow. Number 5. Visualize your ideal self. Have you ever wondered why some people seem unstoppable? They take consistent action, overcome obstacles, and move steadily toward their goals. One key reason is that they see themselves clearly, not as they are, but as they want to be. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It's a practice rooted in psychology and Stoic philosophy, designed to create a mental blueprint for success. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way Stoics understood that the mind shapes reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and vision of yourself influence the actions you take each day. When you clearly visualize your ideal self, the disciplined, focused, resilient person you want to become, your brain begins to align your habits with that vision. Neuroscience supports this. Studies in psychology show that mental rehearsal activates the same neural pathways as real action. Athletes, musicians, and high achievers use visualization to improve performance, imagining the movements, the effort, the outcome, and the brain responds almost as if it actually happened. Your mind starts to practice success before your body does. Here's the critical part. Visualization without action is meaningless. Stoics would say, vision without virtue is empty. The goal is not to escape into fantasy, but to clarify the person you must become and take concrete steps toward that identity. Start by asking yourself, what does my ideal self do daily? How do they respond to challenges? How do they treat themselves and others? Write it down. Be specific. Instead of, I want to be healthy, say, my ideal self wakes up at 6 a.m., completes 30 minutes of exercise, and eats nourishing food. Instead of, I want to be productive, say, my ideal self writes 500 words every day and completes one important task before checking social media. Once you have this vision, use it as a daily compass. Each time you face resistance, ask, what would my ideal self do right now? Would they procrastinate or would they act? Would they complain or would they take control? By anchoring your actions to this mental image, you gradually become the person you imagine. Visualization also strengthens resilience. When obstacles arise, it's easy to feel discouraged. But the more vividly you see yourself overcoming these challenges, the more your brain perceives setbacks as temporary, solvable problems. You begin to act with confidence and clarity instead of fear and hesitation. Here's a practical method. Daily visualization session. Spend 5 minutes every morning imagining your ideal self, completing your most important tasks. Feel the focus, determination, and satisfaction as if it's happening now. Anchor with action. Immediately after visualizing, take one small action toward that ideal self. Write a paragraph, do 10 push-ups, make a healthy meal, whatever aligns with your vision. Reflect at night. End the day by assessing how your actions matched your ideal self. Small improvements reinforce self-trust and identity alignment. Over time, the distinction between who you are and who you want to be shrinks. Your thoughts shape your habits shape your character, and your character shapes your destiny. This is the Stoic pathway to mastery. Internal clarity leads to external action. Remember, visualization is a tool, not a crutch. Your ideal self is not a fantasy. It's a guide. Act as if you are already that person, consistently, day by day. Action turns vision into reality, and discipline solidifies it. Comment below. I see myself clearly. I act consistently. By visualizing your ideal self and aligning your actions with that vision, you stop being a passive observer of your life. You become the architect of your destiny, turning intention into unstoppable action. Every day you practice this, you step closer to the person you were meant to become. Number 6. Learn through stories. Humans are wired for stories. From ancient myths to modern biographies, stories help us understand the world, internalize lessons, and imagine possibilities. If you want to grow in discipline, resilience, and self-mastery, one of the most powerful tools is learning through the experiences of others. Stoicism itself is full of stories. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus didn't just write philosophy. They shared examples of daily life struggles, victories, and moral choices. Seneca, for instance, endured exile, wealth, political pressure, and personal loss. Yet he remained calm, rational, and disciplined. His life is a story, teaching us that external events don't define us. Our response does. Stories provide perspective. They show us that struggle is universal. We often think our challenges are unique, that no one else faces procrastination, fear, or failure like we do. But history and biographies reveal that every great person has faced resistance, and it's how they responded that defined their character. Reading about Epictetus, a former slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers, reminds us that circumstances are temporary, but the discipline of the mind is permanent. Psychology also confirms this. Studies show that humans learn better through narratives than through abstract advice. Stories activate emotions, engage memory, and create mental models. When you see a character persevere, fail, or act courageously, your brain rehearses those behaviors. You experience the lessons vicariously, which strengthens your own ability to act in the real world. Here's how to use stories to build discipline and stoic strength. Identify role models. Choose historical figures, leaders, or modern examples who embody qualities you want to develop. Maybe it's resilience like Nelson Mandela, focus like Marie Curie, or calm under pressure like Marcus Aurelius. Study their struggles. Don't just celebrate their victories. Look at the obstacles, failures, and sacrifices they faced. Stories of struggle teach you strategy, patience, and mental toughness. Internalize lessons. Ask yourself, what would this person do in my situation? How would they respond to temptation, procrastination, or self-doubt? Visualize yourself acting like them. Apply small actions. Stories are not enough without action. Choose one lesson from a story and implement it today. If a writer struggled to write daily, commit to 10 minutes of writing. If a leader overcame fear, confront a small fear of your own. Let's consider an example. Thomas Edison. Most know him for inventing the light bulb, but few remember the thousands of failures he endured. Instead of quitting, he reframed failure as data, learning with each experiment. This story teaches persistence and reframing obstacles, turning challenges into lessons rather than excuses. Stories also foster empathy and humility. They show us that everyone is fighting battles we cannot see. Stoicism teaches that judgment, impatience, and resentment are wasted energy. Learning from the lives of others strengthens your mind to respond calmly and wisely, even when life seems unfair. Finally, stories create identity alignment. When you consistently study the lives of disciplined, courageous, and wise people, you begin to see yourself as someone who can act like them. This is the Stoic principle in action. External examples shape internal character. Your actions then follow the model you admire. Here's a daily ritual. Read one story each day. Biography, historical event, or modern success. Reflect. What would my ideal self do in this situation? Apply one lesson immediately, no matter how small. Through stories, discipline becomes relatable, resilience becomes teachable, and wisdom becomes actionable. You stop learning abstractly and start living the lessons of those who have already walked the path. Comment below. I learn, I apply, I grow. By learning through stories, you harness the experiences of the greats, condense years of trial and error into actionable insight, and steadily shape yourself into the person you aspire to be. Every story becomes a step forward, every lesson a tool for building a disciplined, resilient, and unstoppable life. Number 7. Commit publicly. Discipline is powerful, but even the strongest internal will can waver. The mind loves excuses, the body seeks comfort, and procrastination whispers daily. How do you make sure you follow through? One of the most underestimated strategies is simple yet profound. Commit publicly. Stoic philosophy teaches that your word is your bond. Marcus Aurelius emphasized integrity and responsibility, not just in private, but in all interactions. When you declare your intentions openly, you create an external structure that reinforces your inner discipline. Public commitment transforms a private goal into a social contract with yourself and others, making it far harder to back out. Think about it. When you tell a friend, post online, or share a goal with a community, you automatically raise the stakes. Your brain recognizes that inconsistency comes with social consequences, loss of credibility, respect, or accountability. Suddenly, your intentions are no longer just thoughts. They are actions waiting to happen. This creates psychological friction against procrastination. History and modern science both show the power of public commitment. Benjamin Franklin, one of history's most disciplined figures, maintained accountability networks with friends, reporting progress on habits like reading, writing, and daily reflection. Modern behavioral psychology calls this the commitment device. You are more likely to act when others know your goal. Social pressure, combined with personal honor, forms a potent formula for discipline. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you want to wake up at 5 a.m. to exercise daily. Alone, your willpower is tested against the comfort of your bed. You hit snooze, rationalize, delay. But if you post your commitment on social media, tell a friend, or join a morning accountability group, something shifts. You can't easily let yourself down without consequence. You've made your goal public. That small step drastically increases your chances of action. Public commitment also strengthens identity. Stoics teach that our actions define us more than our intentions. Each time you follow through on a declared goal, you reinforce your identity as a disciplined, reliable, and capable person. Over time, this becomes self-reinforcing. The more others see you act consistently, the more your internal sense of integrity grows, making discipline easier. Here's how to apply it effectively. Choose your circle wisely. Commit to people who support your growth. Public declarations in a judgmental or unsupported environment may backfire. Be specific. General intentions like "I'll exercise more" are weak. Commit to precise actions. I will run 2 miles every morning at 6 a.m. and report it in my accountability group. Track and report progress. Keep yourself accountable. Daily check-ins or posts, even if brief, make your commitment tangible. Embrace the pressure. Don't avoid the discomfort. Feeling observed or judged is part of the system that strengthens resolve. Celebrate consistency, not perfection. Public commitment isn't about perfection. Missing a day isn't failure if you continue and report honestly. The real power is in persistence. Consider Elon Musk, who often shares ambitious project timelines publicly. While it invites scrutiny, it also forces follow-through. The stakes aren't just internal, they're external. Public commitment compels action, sharpens focus, and trains discipline under pressure. Finally, remember, the goal is not vanity or approval. It's integrity and consistency. Public commitment leverages social and psychological forces to fortify your will, bridge intention to action, and create visible, measurable progress. When you consistently honor your word, your internal discipline grows stronger, your identity aligns with your goals, and you become unstoppable. Here's your daily action. Choose one small habit or goal, tell someone meaningful about it, or post it publicly. Make your intention visible. Each time you follow through, you strengthen not just the habit, but your very character. Comment below, "I honor my word," publicly and privately. Commit publicly. Strengthen your integrity. Transform discipline from a private struggle into a visible, unstoppable force. Number 8. Follow a step-by-step system. Discipline is powerful, but even the strongest intentions can falter without a clear path. Imagine trying to cross a vast forest with no map. You might wander, lose energy, or get lost entirely. Life and goals work the same way. Action without structure leads to wasted effort. That's why following a step-by-step system is essential. Stoics believed in the power of method and routine. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about taking deliberate, reasoned action every day. He didn't rely on luck, sudden motivation, or random bursts of inspiration. He followed principles, a clear framework to navigate life's challenges. When you adopt a system, you remove ambiguity. You no longer rely on willpower alone. Instead, your habits, structure, and method guide you forward. Step-by-step systems break massive, intimidating goals into manageable, repeatable actions. Instead of thinking, "I want to transform my life," a system asks, "What is the next right action I can take today?" That shift from vague intention to precise action is where transformation begins. Let's take an example. Suppose you want to write a book. The goal seems enormous. Without a plan, you might stare at a blank page, procrastinate, and eventually give up. But a system transforms this. Step 1. Outline the chapters, a clear roadmap of what to write. Step 2. Commit to daily writing, even 200 words per day. Step 3. Edit weekly, small, regular reviews to improve. Step 4. Track progress, checklists, milestones, or a progress journal. Step 5. Adjust as needed. Refine the system based on results, not feelings. Notice the beauty of this approach. It removes the need for daily motivation. You follow the steps because they exist, not because you feel inspired. Over time, the system trains discipline, turns intention into action, and produces tangible results. Science also backs this up. Behavioral psychology shows that people who break goals into structured steps are far more likely to succeed. Why? Because your brain responds to clarity. When the next action is obvious, resistance decreases, momentum builds, and habits are reinforced. A system creates predictable, repeatable success, even on days when motivation is absent. Stoic wisdom aligns perfectly here. The Stoics focused on process, not outcome. They understood that external events are beyond control, but consistent, structured action is entirely within it. A step-by-step system transforms chaos and distraction into a clear path of deliberate effort. You act not sporadically, but systematically every day, building mastery and resilience. Here's how to apply it to your own life. Define your ultimate goal clearly. Know what success looks like. Break it down into smaller, actionable steps. Make each step achievable daily or weekly. Schedule each action. Attach it to your routine to minimize friction. Track and review. Even minor progress matters. It reinforces self-trust. Refine your system continuously. Small improvements compound into massive results. Following a system doesn't just help you achieve your goals. It protects your discipline from chaos, laziness, and indecision. Your focus becomes unshakable because you know exactly what to do next. The fog of uncertainty disappears, replaced by a clear map to success. So, start today. Pick one goal, create a step-by-step plan, and follow it without relying on motivation. Treat your system like a machine. Put the inputs in consistently, and the outputs will follow. And here's something important. If you've watched this video until the end, you've already taken the first step toward action. Now, take the next one. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it. Comment your commitment below, and subscribe for more strategies. Don't just consume knowledge. Act on it. Your disciplined future self will thank you. Remember, systems turn chaos into progress, small actions into massive results, and fleeting willpower into lasting discipline. Follow a step-by-step system, act daily, and watch yourself become unstoppable.